Do do do.
Last up on the list in this glorious, glorious franchise, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, 2023. Once again, directed by Christopher McQuarrie. Could they one up Fallout?
I think I went into this one expecting that it wouldn't one up Fallout. I was saying, that's okay. Once again, he's brought it in a different direction.
Yeah.
He's not trying to do the same thing again. The fun is back. It's a very funny movie.
It's such a goofy movie. I was going to say, it might be the goofiest of the series.
Even though it has character deaths.
Yeah, it's very hyper real. Talking about goofy, it is a bit cartoony. It's a bit more that Ghost Protocol vibe. I mean, the car chase is incredible comedy, incredible stuff. This is the only Mission Impossible movie with a falling piano. And for that, it gets really high marks for me.
That train sequence is insane. It's so unreal, but it's unrealistic, but yet I buy it.
I really love practical action, and we've already touched on this with Tom Cruise in these movies. You know, he was on the side of a real plane that took off. Insane. And I just love any time that you can see that the action being done is being done for real, or as real as they could safely do it. And they're really doing that in all of these films. If you watch VFX breakdowns of this movie, yeah, there are VFX in almost every one of the action sequences, but you can see how much they're actually doing in camera. And it's just a difference that you can really feel when you watch it.
Absolutely. And there's some interesting stuff with the characters here. You talk about Haley Atwell's character. There's an interesting introduction to how you get brought into the IMF. Something, I mean, it's funny that we're 7 movies in and they're only just now discussing this because we didn't need to know, which is great. But now we're sort of seeing, in a lot of ways, inside the mind of Ethan Hunt. We're getting a bit deeper into his psychology, which is so interesting. He seems like such a rock, so impenetrable. But it's very a fascinating turn for the series to take and to show a little bit of hints of an earlier life for him.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. And then to show that and to have Rebecca Ferguson die and to have it be out of his control, I've long hated that because I kind of just hate that action sequence. I think I don't love that sword fight so much, and I hate that they killed her. But I think for what they're doing to the Ethan Hunt character, it's like, how do we push this character in the movies to like change who he is, or to see who he is, I should say. It's cool. It's good writing.
Yeah, I'll defend it. I mean, first of all, I love the sword fight in any movie, but I think it fits in this sort of over the top kind of version of Mission Impossible. None of us wanted Ilsa to die, but it is a scene that for me had a huge impact. You know, it's heartbreaking. I've never felt that emotion watching a Mission Impossible movie, and it does hit, and you see how it impacts Ethan's character, which is, you know, of course, the whole point.
I think for me with this movie, why it doesn't really rank as high as Fallout is it's just a bit more clunky. It just really isn't as streamlined. There's too many cold opens in it.
It's 3 cold opens. Yeah. Just open on the scene with Carrie Elwaves.
I know some people were saying that it's goofy or stupid, the AI controlling the world. I kind of love it. I think it kind of rules. It's one of those things where here we are a year later and people are kind of like, oh, is that what's about to happen to us? There are a ton of great set pieces in this movie, and I really like a lot of them. The airport is super fun. The car chase in Rome is awesome. The train, the motorcycle jump, all that stuff is great. I just don't think they nailed the connective tissue in this one as well as they did in Fallout, which is why I just don't think it kind of hits those same peaks.
The movie overall is really good. And yeah, it's not as good as Fallout. It's not as tight, but I think what it does really well for the most part. I really love the AI storyline, the entity. Yeah. I think that is, in my mind, one of the best villains in the series. I think it's a very interesting choice. It goes into what I'm saying, like this sort of hyper real version of the series. It is in some ways half a story, and they are setting up things that may pay off later.
I mean, to give this movie some huge props, I think it does a great job at actually feeling like a standalone movie, more so than a lot of Part 1 and Part 2 movies end up doing.
I do think it is clunky in some ways. It could be tighter for sure, but I find the plot really enjoyable in this movie.
All right, what are we feeling about this movie, guys?
I have a real hard time with this movie. I had a hard time when I watched it because I thought it was clunky, but there's some parts of it I'm like, this is like some of the highest stuff in the franchise, and I just want to continue seeing it go down this route. I would want to tie this with Ghost Protocol. Am I allowed to do that?
No, come on, you got to go above or below.
Well, it's a community effort.
I would tie it with Ghost Protocol.
It's better than Ghost Protocol in my mind.
Really?
Where are you gonna put it?
I think it's better than Rogue Nation also.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Tim, I'm with you. Here's my thing. I love the villain. I think it's super goofy, but I think it's super awesome. And at the end of the day, I've said this a bunch on the show today. I love these movies for the action. And for me, this movie has the second best action in the franchise other than Fallout. And since I like the villain, I like the plot, and I think it's a really fun movie, and the action spectacle in it is, the second best in the series. It's number 2 for me for sure.
Rogue Nation, the action is really good, but for me, it's on the lower end. Like, those set pieces aren't as memorable to me. They aren't the ones that I think about most when I think about Mission Impossible. It's a big swing to bring Mission Impossible into this realm, and I really appreciate that 7 movies in, they're still trying new things, and I think they're doing a really good job at it.